Hey, welcome back guys, nice to see ya. Welcome to one of the beautiful forests here in western New York, where today our Morakniv Monday is going to be on the Mora Pro Robust, or the new Mora, as some would like to call it. I gave one of these away a few months ago with one of Joey's Kydex sheaths, so I thought that I would buy one myself and we would try it out, and I would do a true feature on it here on Morakniv Monday. Now, hard plastic sheath, as you can see, to start things off, and we'll talk more about that. But what we have here is a little bit different of a model than the Mora Classic Robust, I like to call it, or the HQ Robust. This one here is, this one has a blade length of 3.6 inches. And we're going to talk about some of the differences here. I'm going to compare this one, some of the specs with this one and the Classic Robust here in a second. But just to talk about this one here, blade length is 3.6 inches. The total length of the Mora Pro Robust is 8.25 inches. And it is listed at 4.9 ounces. It's the same color as the Robust, but you can see the handle here is a little bit different. It has your finger guard right here, and it has a little guard there at the bottom. So it does fit pretty well in the hand. I have no complaints about that. As you may know, though, I'm not a very big finger guard fan. But I do like the rubberized handle. I do like that it's also 1/8 of an inch thick, just like the Classic Robust. You can see the patina that I forced on mine. This one does not come with a sharpened spine. Just like most Mora knives, it does not come with a sharpened spine. So I took a file to this one. And let me just tell you guys that this one takes well to a file. You can really sharpen up that spine all the way along the top. Okay, some of the Mora knives, depending on the way the spine is shaped and the steel itself, it's harder to grind them down. It's doable, you can do it, but some are easier than others. And I've noticed that this one here was very, very easy to grind down. It also took a patina really well. The only thing I've done with this knife, I've used it a few times, and all I've done is stropped it to bring it back. 1095 HighCarbonSteel, one of my absolute favorites. So now that you've had a good look at it, let me turn the camera around here, and we'll talk a little more in depth about the Mora Pro Robust, the Mora Classic Robust, and have some fun with this knife, guys. Okay guys, there on the top is the Mora Classic Robust, and on the bottom is the Mora Robust Pro, or Mora Pro Robust. So just to give you an idea of the differences, the Classic Robust, which is on the top, that has a blade length of 4.1 inches. It has a total overall length of 8.9 inches. And it has a total weight listed at 4.8 ounces. The Mora Pro Robust on the bottom there, as we just discussed, it has a blade length of 3.6 inches. A total overall length of 8.25 inches. And it has a weight of 4.9 ounces. They are both 1/8 of an inch thick, right around 3 millimeters thick. They both have a Scandinavian grind. Neither one of them comes with a sharpened spine. They both are rounded off, so you have to sharpen that out yourself. But I have many videos where I do that if you ever want to see how I do it. They are both 1095 HighCarbonSteel. Now, in my humble opinion, the Classic Robust on top there has one of the best rubberized handles in all of bushcraft. You can see a little bit of a palm swell here. And that's what makes it very comfortable, and it feels very secure in your hand. And that is versus the ergonomically correct grip, which they call it, of the Mora Pro Robust. It has the finger guard up here. It has this little guard down here, so your hand fits right in the middle. And I guess some people would like that. They're both rubberized handles. This one is the rubber wrapped around the plastic, whereas this one, this part of it is rubberized, whereas the middle is the hard plastic. They both come with pretty decent ends there. I've pounded on both of them, and they both seem to work okay. And they both take well to a patina, as you can see there. Very, very nice patinas they took. They were also very easy to sharpen the spines of. And as far as bringing them back, the only thing I've had to do with each of these knives, the top one I've owned much longer than the bottom one, is strop them. In stropping them, it brings the knife right back. So there's a little bit of a comparison between the two. Okay guys, let's talk about the sheaths for a second on each of the knives. Mora Classic Robust comes with the classic sheath that Mora knives come with. At least the classic Mora knives usually come with. It's the hard plastic. It has this type of a belt clip on it. And the Robust comes with this button right here on the front because it could adjoin to other Mora sheaths. I'm not sure how many of you guys do that. I think they do it a lot more in Sweden and overseas than they do here. But it has a thumb ramp, little thumb notch. And I know a lot of people don't like these sheaths, and some really don't like them. I don't mind them at all. I've never ever had a problem with any of Mora's plastic sheaths. They can hook onto your belt, or you can lace paracord through there and wear them as a neck knife. And once again, the only difference with the Mora Robust over like the Companion is it came with this button. Now the Mora Pro Robust sheath is a little bit different. The button here is a different configuration. It's still a button to latch on, but it's a little bit different. The thumb ramp isn't as pronounced, but it does have deeper grooves there to kind of assist you in pulling the knife in and out. It has a similar belt loop, and it's hard plastic. Different Mora knife, or Morakniv, as Ulrika would have taught us. Design on the front. And of course it's a little bit smaller than this sheath, being a little bit smaller of a knife. Now as far as the button on the front, they're made to clip onto Mora sheaths like this. This button here, I found, does not clip onto the classic sheath. So in trying to get it like that, it does not clip into it. But what I found does clip into this sheath is something like the Mora 511, or I'm sorry, the 510. The Mora 510 sheath that has this type of configuration on the back of it. The Mora 510 sheath will slip right onto that. So if you're one of the ones who likes to piggyback, just keep that in mind. The button on the Mora Pro Robust does not take or does not piggyback onto the classic Mora sheath. Now as far as piggybacking the Pro Robust onto this, that it can do. And actually this one's pretty neat. With these, they just slip on and clip up here. These have a little button that they clip on and off through. So if I were to take this button, I push it in and it clips on. And it actually stays. Whoops. And it actually stays until you push this button back and slip it out. So to get it in, you put pressure on this top part and it slides right down in. to get it out, and it locks in. It's in there until you push this button and slide it back out. If that makes sense, guys. Hope you're able to see that okay. The other thing people have a problem with these sheaths is the retention. And I could already feel this one. The Mora Pro goes in and out, but if I were to shake it hard enough, I can shake that out. I mean, I like the sheath, don't get me wrong. I always enjoyed them. But let me show you a technique that I use. Jeff from Common Sense Camper, he actually uses a Ranger band. He puts a Ranger band in this part and just flips it over and holds it in, which is a very good idea. But if I can find my little piece of paracord, I learned this from Dennis at Spartan John's. I just take a little piece of paracord and tie a slip knot. Okay. And then I put it up through the belt clip and around front of the knife. And then you can just tighten it onto itself, being that it's a slip knot, and that holds the retention. I do this with any Mora knife that I use the plastic sheath for, the factory sheath. I do this right here. It weighs nothing, it doesn't get in the way, and to release it, all you do is open up your slip knot, turn it back, and it's ready to go. Just a little tip there to help with the retention. So this will work with either sheath or any Mora plastic sheath for you. One more thing really quick, guys, that I wanted to just share an observation that I made is with Mora coming out with the Mora Pro Robust, which is still 1/8 of an inch thick and more of a stout Mora knife than the classic Robust. Like a little more shorter, a little more stout. It almost reminded me, not exactly, but it almost reminded me of this Hultafors heavy duty knife that I got from Tim at Boggy Creek Beast. I think that the Mora Robust Pro is closer to this than it is the Mora Classic Robust. How this one definitely has more weight and a little bit different. It's a little bit different of a knife, but if I were to compare, I would say that the Mora Pro is more in line with this heavy duty knife, or maybe the model or the pattern that they were trying to go after, because you can see this one also has the finger guard and it has the end guard there, so it kind of fits right in the middle of your hand, or your hand fits right in the middle, just like this Pro Robust. So I just thought that was a neat observation. It's almost like Mora was kind of taking this design in mind, lightly taking this design in mind when it was making the Pro Robust. Being that this is an 1/8 of an inch thick, guys, it's not going to be as great of a carver as some of the thinner Mora knives, but it's also not going to be too bad at all. And I'm able to score right underneath, no problem. I like the weight of it. The weight is very nice. Little pot hook there. And as we talked about before, guys, when I'm doing knife reviews or I'm doing Mora Knife Mondays, I'm usually going to show the things that I use the knives for in the woods. So I'm not going to do a lot of stuff that I wouldn't do. I like to keep them practical and show them for what I use them for. And a pot hook is one of the #1 things that I make when I'm out in the woods. The tent stake that we just showed is one of the more often used tools in the woods that I make. So a tent stake, a pot hook, using the spine of the knife. And this is after I sharpened it, guys. It's not going to remove material like this unless you take a file to it, take your Dremel tool to it, whatever you like to use. But I wouldn't say that's too bad at all. So there's our tent stake at this end. Pot hook. Feather sticks, no problem, guys. Okay guys, so I want to thank you for joining me for this Mora Knife Monday on the Mora Pro Robust. Ultimately guys, it's the features that you like and what you prefer, that's up to you. The handle, the way the handle's constructed, but this is going to perform just like any other Mora knife tremendously. Takes an edge, holds an edge, 1/8 inch spine, 1/8 of an inch spine. Very easy to sharpen, so once you sharpen that up you could do all the tasks that you want. 1095 high carbon steel, so you will be able to strike your piece of flint or your piece of chert off of that and get your char cloth on fire. And it's a Mora, I love Moras. I love some designs more than the others, but this part of it here is a Mora, and I love it for that. This is available for right about, I'm gonna say $16 shipped to your door. If you like this type of design, it's tremendous. I happen to prefer the Mora Classic Robust handle and being a little bit longer of a knife and a blade, but I do enjoy this one a lot. I like the size of it, and I will carry this one as well. So thanks for joining me, guys. It was great to see everybody, and we will talk to you again down the road. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.